Man, oh man. Second-round picks are getting introduced in the NBA all of a sudden, and that second-round pick is Bronny James. Pick number 55, but got the full treatment yesterday, along with Dalton Knecht from the Los Angeles Lakers. And here's a little Bronny James while being introduced to the media, talking about the pressure he feels going into this upcoming season.
For sure, the amplified amount of pressure. I've already seen it, stuff in media and stuff in the internet and stuff, talking about I might not deserve an opportunity, but I've been dealing with stuff like this for my whole life, so it's nothing different, but it's more amplified for sure. But I can get through it.
So there's
because it's true.
Yeah.
You've been dealing with it for your entire life because it's true.
People keep saying it. I don't know why. I can't figure this out.
Let's see. Let's think about this. Why are they saying it, everybody, for your entire life?
So one of the
if it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So according to Woj and ESPN and those guys, they're saying that the Lakers and Bronny's representative, Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, they've discussed a multi-year contract that would assure him one of LA's 15 full-fledged roster spots, sources told ESPN.
Assured.
So, yeah.
But I've been hearing this all my life. Don't worry about it.
You know what? You know what's great about the Lakers? He's not top 54 in the draft, but he's top 15 on our team.
Dang.
Damn.
God dang.
Okay.
You'd almost wonder if there's not going to be a grievance that's going to be filed at some point with a player who doesn't make the roster.
I feel like that's the biggest thing.
You almost wonder if we're really being serious about this. If you're a player who's on that roster, you've got prior NBA experience, and you're cut, you're released, you don't make it because he does, there's an element of like, well, how's he able to sign a contract that, automatically puts him on the team? I guess that's kind of how contracts work, but it feels like there's something else going on here. It's a little more fishy. And I guess at the end of the day, any NBA team can do whatever they want. They can make the poorest decision or the best decision, however we want to talk about it on the outside, and that's their own prerogative. But I do feel like for some of those players, they've got to be frustrated because it has a lot more to do with LeBron than it does. Which, by the way, has he signed his extension yet?
I don't think so. No, he's still.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
Wonder if maybe you could hold that over the Lakers' head
until he gets his contract
does his
signed.
deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the whole thing is just such a clown.
I mean,
show.
there's the conversation. Me and Plex had it on Saturday.
What up,
I guess
Plex?
they haven't. Yeah, Stretch.
What up, Plex?
What up, Stretch? Why haven't they announced if he's playing in summer league or not? And I don't know if that's come out
a good
yet.
point.
But they have made it a point to. Like, is he going to play Summer League? Like, well, why wouldn't he play Summer League? Why is this even a debate or a conversation? But there's actually the conversation that Bronny James might not play in the Summer League, which to me, if you want to talk about keeping things under wraps, like trying to keep the truth from the people, why would you not have him play in the Summer League? If you want to create some justification on the pick, let him ball out in the Summer League.
I would be shocked if he's not playing in the Summer League.
I mean, it would be the first time ever, I believe, in the history of the NBA Summer League that a draft pick didn't play in the Summer League.
If he doesn't play, is that an admission that they're hiding it?
Yes.
Jeez.
Don't you think? You can't hide players in Summer League. That's for them.
He's just gonna
that league is for them.
He's going to skip the line.
Yeah, we're just not going to play. Like this one time, we just going like, nah, he don't need it. Bronny don't need it.
I almost wish that we get to the point to where he's playing, and I find myself rooting for him more and more because if he looks so bad, I'm going to feel terrible for him because there's no way, like, as much as he's been given advantages and all this stuff, like, deep down, he's got to know, like, man, if I get exposed like this, there's no turning back. Like, the whole thing.
I mean,
like,
but he can't control that. You're putting him out there with professional ball play. He can't control that. We've seen his body of work. And while you can say the kid has talent and can play, there's a lot of guys out there that have talent that can play that don't play at the professional level, and there's a reason why.
Right.
I mean, it just is what it is. He can't control what's going to happen. From what I can gather, the information that I've seen, they're talking about they're gonna nationally televise every single game that Bronny plays in. You think? You think?
Oh,
Don't you want to see it?
Oh,
is he going to play? Is the question?
Is he going to play?
Yeah.
And if
I got a funny feeling he's gonna. I got a funny feeling he's gonna get a couple minutes. I don't know why. Yeah. Like I think that's probably gonna go.
I would think if I was him though, wouldn't you want to earn it for yourself?
Yes.
Like, wouldn't that be the fastest way where you kind of call off your dad or your pops if he's calling the shots or whoever and say, no, I want to play in summer league. I want to showcase what I can do. I want to prove to people I'm able and I'm capable of playing in this league. And that's, I think, the tough part is even going through the draft pick selection, everything else, there's elements of I wonder what the internal conversation would be. Because there comes a certain point where, maybe dad always knows what's best, but the child might be saying, like, no, like, let me earn my own path. Like, if I don't get drafted, I don't get drafted. Then I can sign with LA Pops.
That's how I looked at it. And that was where that's perfectly put, because that's the perspective I was coming from the entire time. And that's why I said he's not assured a draft or a roster spot if he gets free agent picked up. So by drafting him, I guess that's kind of the conversation that has come about since the draft. Because to me, I don't think anybody has an issue if it happens that way. If he goes undrafted and the Lakers pick him up, make the team. Right. Nobody has a problem with that. Nobody. Like, some people will have criticisms. Oh, he only made the team because so what? At that point, so what?
It's like a walk-on who gets awarded a scholarship. Everybody's happy for him.
Okay, right. But you drafted him. And you got Chris Paul saying don't take him because he's going to go to Australia if you draft him. Like, what?
Rich Paul.
Let's
go back to that analogy, though. Let's go back to that analogy. A walk-on has earned it. A walk-on has, in order to earn a scholarship, it's not just given because they practice hard. A walk-on in special teams, on offense or defense, has proven in a live game scenario. They've already proven it. They've earned their stripes for a year or two, maybe 3.
Or 3, yeah.
They've earned it. They've already proven it, and then they get that scholarship.
That's true.
That's the difference. Like, this isn't like, hey, he's an undrafted guy. He finds his way on the roster after playing great in the summer league and everything else for the season, and then plays a few minutes well enough to actually make the team for the following season. That's not how this is working out. This is like that escalator, that walking escalator takes you right to your gate to take off in the plane.
Dang.
Sweet.
Which, by the way, J.J. Redick got the same treatment.
Well,
I was wondering if that guy who was at the J.J. Redick press conference, I love this guy. Where's he at right now?
I mean, I was going to say, because you guys got a lot of balls, man, coming in here questioning whether or not Bronny James has earned it, when J.J. Redick will clearly tell you here how he earned this spot with the Lakers.
Do.
Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this. Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study 1, because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
That's not untrue.
Well, hold on for a second.
It's not untrue.
Here's what I keep going back to. He's 6'1.5".
Yeah.
For a good, I'm not saying you can't be a good defender at 6'1.5". It's really hard to be a good defender, though, when you're one of the shortest players in the league.
Who is he guarding?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, how many?
It don't matter.
Because I'll put it this way: like, how many point guards, how many shooting guards are his height or below?
It's not very many.
That's one of the toughest things about basketball where I remember when I was in high school, I was like 6'4". I played some AAU stuff, but you looked around, you're like, hey, 6'4" is not that tall. You look at the NBA guys, like you got guys who are 6'6", 6'8". It's a huge, huge advantage. And there's really not much you can do about it. And so whatever he's displayed as a defender in the 1 year at Southern Cal is one thing. Drills and all that, that's one thing. But at 6'1.5", it's going to be difficult for him to match up. I'm about 6'4". You know what I do to someone who's 6'1", 6'1.5"? I take him to the post. Isolate it, put him down to the post. I've got enough height and advantage that like you'll be able to get to the rim. You'll be able to get an easy bucket that way. I mean, imagine his mismatch on playing against if they do a pick and roll. And if they switch, can't switch. You're going to put him on a 6'10" guy? Huge disadvantage. So, like, that's some of the other thing. And I'm not saying that there's not, guys around his height in the league who make it happen. But usually guys who are 6'1", 6'1.5", they have extraordinary talent somewhere else.
Yes.
Lights out knockdown shooter. Has Bronny been that? Not even close.
That's the key. The key here.
Does he even shoot 40% from the field?
Well, does he shoot enough to get any type of 40% from the field? I mean, if it was 40% from the field, it'd probably be like out of like 3-4 shots. I mean, he ain't shooting much to get a high percentage. You got guys like Mike Conley. He's 6 foot, but he moves like a flea. Like, he's quick. And he can't.
And look at Mike Conley's resume coming out of.
I mean, he's
college.
one of the top guys coming out. He's a top guy. You got Jalen Brunson. He's 6'2". You got guys who are around that height. But listen to the names I'm telling you, like Jalen Brunson. Okay. Are we being serious here?
If you wanted to find a second rounder, Isaiah Thomas, not the original Isaiah Thomas, but Isaiah Thomas, who was drafted by Sacramento. I think he was. I think he was the last pick of the NBA draft, and he came out and had a really good career. He was an undersized guy, but he could score. Like at his site, he figured out a way. And to go back to the resume point, he was unbelievable in college. Like there was,
didn't Mike Conley win? He only played 1 year. Here's a one and done. And didn't they win a national championship?
Went to the final, I think, or the final four with Greg Oden.
With Greg Oden.
Yeah.
Like, he was the 4th overall pick. Who was Jalen Brunson? Did they win one at Villanova?
Yes, they did.
It's like you're talking about dudes who are coming off of it. I mean, Southern Cal was as bad as it could be last year in basketball.
And Isaiah Thomas, he put on a show at the Pac-10 tournament or Pac-12 tournament back then. So there was a body of work.
The Pac-2?
Yeah, something.
Dang,
like that.
Pac something.
Yeah. It's just a pack.
I just know this.
Pack. That's what it is.
Tupac. I just know this. His hard work, his feel for the game, all those things that Redick said, it's not inaccurate. It's not a lie. It's just that by saying that his hard work and his feel and his understanding of the certain aspects of the game, that still does not qualify nor justify the pick. Because there are a lot of guys out there that work their asses off. You could use that terminology for a lot of guys out there that have more of a resume than what Bronny James has.
I would almost respect it more if they just came out and said, yeah, we think it's a good story. Want to see him play with his dad. Sweet.
And he's going to stay.
On the same page.
And you know what? And he's going to stay.
I would almost respect it more if they just said, yeah, we're doing this to keep LeBron.
We're doing it to keep LeBron.
Because forget the story. Forget the story. It's a great story. It's Hallmark. They can come up with their own story or whatever. Much like they're doing with the Kansas City Chiefs. That'd be cute. Can you see Christmas with the James family?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, it's LeBron and Bronny. They're coming back from after long road trips, seeing what happens on NBA road trips, back for Christmas. We'll see how that works out. But I look at it and say, if you just came out and said, we feel like we need LeBron James. We want LeBron James to be here through the end of his career. We want him to retire a Laker. That is like, oh, all right, well, whatever you're paying Bronny, what does it mean? It doesn't matter, right? Because we've seen that on other teams where Giannis and his brothers on the Bucks, and there's other examples of that. That's the one that makes the most sense. Hey, it's about our superstar. It's about making him happy, allowing him to come back.
Totally get it.
Okay.
Say it.
And no
Just say
problem
it.
at all. But it's the whole song and dance and the dog and pony show of, well, it's the hard work. And it's like, come on, dude.
And you forcing Bronny James to have to answer questions that this shouldn't have to fall on him. This shouldn't have to be the pressure he has to deal with.
Like, don't crap on my plate and tell me it's an apple fritter, okay?
Dang.
You know what I mean?
He talked about me like this my entire life. Oh, it's because your dad been. Yeah. Your dad been putting the best players around you your entire life, and quite frankly, you did one thing, one thing at USC, 1 year, one thing at USC, and now you're a 55th draft pick in the second round of the NBA draft. I mean, dreams come true.
Yeah,
dreams do come true.